Oh, that sucks. God damn it. Oh, that guy was a legend. It really sucked that he died. I didn't even know that he cheated on his wife. Like, does that even happen? Maybe I should check that before. Yeah. Well, yeah, anyway. Alright, let's go into an arcade race. Let's go to the single race one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, why don't we go to the Cirque de Saint Croix. Saint Croix. Saint Croix? Oh, the evening looks great there, jeez. Let's take something in the garage. Let's hit the kart shifter, yo. Yep, that's it. That's what we need. Everyone's gonna be racing kart shifters now. Great, go-kart race. Hell yeah. This is what I feel every single Grand Prix should be. Just a bunch of guys in go-karts. I wonder if there is like a go-kart Grand Prix. There probably is. It's amazing how many like sports out there that there's entire worlds like revolving around the sport, you know, that people are actively involved in and that have their own like legends and heroes and guys that are like innovators in that field. Like I don't know whether you guys have noticed, but like it's actually very rarely that something breaks it. Like when something breaks out of that mold, like when it reaches an audience that's even like beyond the people who are in it, that's when people are considered like really really famous. Like when they're basically like they have a reach outside of the people that are even involved in the industry. So like people who are like, most people know Tony Hawk even if you don't skate. Like Tony Hawk is a skateboarder. It's not like he I mean he does act in a few movies and stuff like that, but he's not like that's just like cameos at best, you know. He's not like actually showing some acting chops. He's not laying down a dramatic role. You know what I'm saying? So like most of the time when people get out there like that, it's quite impressive. It's quite like overwhelming to think like, wow, there's so many things out there that are like people are into that, you know, most people don't really. I mean, when I was a kid there was like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and stuff like that. I'm sure there are still people who are like super into that. I know in like a lot of the Asian countries, even like India and stuff like that, there are certain niched groups that like still are into like these really old trends that are like long dead in many other places, but they're just trying to like, you know, revive it. God damn, why is everyone overtaking me? Alright, step my game up, yo. They're all just passing me. Yeah, that's actually quite cool, I think. I think we live in a great time. Like I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm sure if many of you guys will watch that as well, but he was like talking to I can't remember who it was. He might have been Theo Vaughn, but that's probably someone else. About like how he's like just like a hopeless optimist. No, not a hopeless optimist, but he's very optimistic about humanity's future, whereas most people tend to be quite cynical about it, you know? Like, oh, we're just gonna mess everything up and there's no hope for humanity. And I fall on his side. I think it's a great time that we are alive. Like, there's so much of stuff that we have at our disposal. People can get food like out of a store. That's a big deal. Like most people take that for granted, but there was a time not too long ago, like not even 500 years ago, when nearly all of us would have had to either A, go out and hunt for something, or B, we'd have to like travel a really long distance just to get certain items. All of that has been taken out with like the invent of like the modern transport system and stuff like that. So I don't really get why people are so cynical about stuff like that, but I suppose you could look at the world and be like, oh yeah, well, things are kind of going to shit, but I guess you wouldn't have much perspective on. I mean, some people's lives are shit right now, you know, like some people are living in like abject poverty while others are like living in mansions. And I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen like those Danielle Brigolis and the other girl that was on there recently with like, oh yeah, I want a Mercedes-Benz A-Class or C-Class or whatever she was asking for, like, and she gets like $10,000 a month as allowance. Like, can you imagine being that obscenely rich? Like, I actually feel so sorry for those people, because most of the time, like, when you encounter a rich person like that, they seldomly have much else to show other than like a lot of cash. Like, they're not extremely interesting in any way. They're not like, you're not going to meet a rich person and all of a sudden your life's like so different. I guess the only time it would be different is if they were showering you with money. Which is kind of like callous. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure that's why most people are just like friends with rich people, just because they like, they're also rolling in it, so, or they want to be rolling in it, so they're like, yeah, I suppose hanging out with this dude can help me get into that lifestyle or whatever. Damn, I'm 11th. How many laps are there to go? Oh, 3. We need to catch up with these guys. But yeah, just get good on go-kart races.